like it very much if all of you would listen. This is Sam Reynolds. He is a former Pueblo student who is also an author. And Sam is here to tell you a little bit about himself and his whole writing process. So I'd appreciate it if you all give him your utmost attention. Thank you. Yay.
You fixed it?
Yay. Okay. So
just that?
Yep.
Aha.
Yay, Miss Sidney.
Yay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Like Kathy said, I am Sam Reynolds. I'm going to sit over here. You guys can see. I'm 17. I went to Pueblo, 6 years ago? I was on the Spirit Dogs team, as you can see by my really old shirt. I had Miss Simonek, Miss Pate, who's retired, Miss Lagerquist, who is still here, I think, and Miss Alver, who used to be my math teacher. They're all great teachers, great team. I'm at a charter school now in Mesa. It's called Heritage Academy. It's right in the heart of downtown, over by the Mesa Arts Center. It's a really good school, great teachers, and I'll be graduating next year. So how the books began. It was the summer before my 6th grade year here, and I was over at my best friend's house, and it's kind of one of those days where you're sitting, you're relaxing in the pool, and your mind's just somewhere else, and all of a sudden you think, you know, I'm gonna write a book. And I had an obsession with dinosaurs since I was a little boy, and I decided to base my book idea kind of on Jurassic Park. You can see the T-Rex there. So I decided on the idea of calling it Dino Hunters. The writing process, writing 2 books at the same time and how it doesn't always work. I started writing my first book before I came to Pueblo, and I was really excited about it. I was really hoping that everything was going to be okay, and then I started planning ahead and realized, hey, I should start working on the 3rd book in the series at the same time. Well, that doesn't always work, and I found that after much trial and error, I had to kind of trash what I had written and start all over again. Also, the Pueblo Writing Club, I should have brought in. I had, we used to have a writing club where they would publish like books that the kids would start to make, and I actually had a binder with some published really nice paper pages of that book. And concept over actual writing, I should have brought that binder. Man, I forgot everything. I was a lot more focused on how the characters would look rather than what they were actually going to do in the story. So if you're ever going to focus on writing, don't how much focus on what it looks like, focus on actually writing it. So, publishing. There's this company called NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month. I partnered with them. One of my friends, Lizzie Stewart, you might know her, she had one of her books published. Basically, they hold this competition every November, and you have to write a book in 1 month, and you have to have it at least be 30,000 words. And if you win the competition, you get a chance to publish with Amazon's publishing company, and you can get your book on Amazon. And I took that opportunity to finish my book and to get it onto Amazon and actually get it to go out to the world. They have this company called CreateSpace, where basically you make an account and you set up how your book's going to look, and then after you send it to them, they approve it within 24 hours, and then it's on Amazon.com, which is really cool. See my completed projects. I'll start talking about the books real quick. So this was the first version of Dino Hunters Part 1. The font on the title is a little bit different. This was my first version that I published immediately after I got done, and I realized that once I published this, there was a lot of mistakes that I had not corrected. So I went and published another version. The second version, I changed the title a little bit, and then I realized there was even more things that I didn't fix, and I filled this up with many, many markings, trying to get this the best it could be, because this book took me 4+ years to write, of writing and then not writing again, and then writing some more. And then I moved on to the final and 3rd version, which is the version that is available for purchase now. It's very clean, it's very nice, and it's very cool to hold this book in my hands. Now the second book, it took me not 4 years, but it took me 4 months to write. I tried to have it out as soon as possible because my brain juices were just flowing. And this book is about double the size of the first one, and I'm trying to think what else to say. There was no second version made of this because with help of my friend, I had edited this a lot more before I actually published it. So that's one of the key things that you need to remember is if there's mistakes, fix them, because if not, you're going to pay for them later. Now, my current projects. I have a third book that I'm working on right now called Deadlock, which will be the third in this series. It's coming this spring. I had hoped to have it out last December to honor the 1-year publishing of Dino Hunters Part 1. Sadly, that didn't happen because my life got in the way. And so currently I'm trying to have this out hopefully within the next month or two. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek of the summary. Although the hunters managed to escape the clutches of Oliver Jensen on Toronto Cove, he still remains a grave threat. Thought to be dead, there was nothing left to stop him from unleashing the final phase of his ultimate plan, making humanity pay the price. Finding themselves on the run, will the team be able to end Jensen's plans before they come to fruition? Or, when faced with a bounty on their heads, will Harrison's actions risk the future of humanity? Just over a year after the first in the series was released, the next chapter of the long-lost Secret series has arrived. Join Harrison and his team as they once again have to fight their way to survive through this epic yet grim journey. Prepare, as all hope seems lost and all hell breaks loose in Deadlock. So my plans for the future as an author. I'm hoping to not only finish Deadlock this spring, but also to have my fourth and final book in this series called Annihilation later this year. I also plan to visit more schools, try to get my name out there. I've gone over to Paloma on one occasion to talk to 5th graders, and now I'm here talking to you guys, which is completely amazing. And I hope that I'll be able to use the talent that I have as an author and as a creative writer to show the world that I'm capable of doing so much, and I can do that through my storytelling, dialogue, and characters. Okay, it's time for a Q&A. Ask your questions.
Sam, would you mind giving just a little summary of the first 2 books so
First 2?
everyone has an idea of what they're about? Just a little bit.
I guess I can read the back of both of them. So, number 1. Harrison Lumina was just an ordinary teenager living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is the picture of this cover. He and his 7 friends would soon experience the greatest tragedy of their time because they would be the ones to save mankind from total annihilation. What seemed as a night at the prom turned into a gory disaster, and what seemed as normal was all thrown away. The city was destroyed and a man was claimed responsible. He did what no one thought was possible. He bred species that were lost to the ravages of time. He reanimated prehistoric dinosaurs for one purpose, to wreak havoc. Will Harrison and his friends be able to stop him in time? Will the villain be brought to justice or bring the planet on its knees? Will the government try to sabotage the mission rather than aid our heroes? Will their group known as the Hunters complete the task ahead or come short and seal humankind's extinction? Discovering this thrilling novel full of suspense, intense action, romance, mysteries around every corner, and a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat begging for more. The truth, the real story, is unveiled in the beginning of this deadly journey. Dino Hunters Part 1. Now Part 2, Armageddon. Left in the ruins with the member dead and the ships obliterated, the Hunters' only objective left is to survive. The island of Toronto is a place of many secrets, and the group discovers these secrets as they try to uncover the mysteries of the island. Oliver Jensen still poses a grave threat to society and the world, greater than ever before. Will they be able to cage the dinosaur threat in time, or will they be forced to take extreme measures and change their objective entirely in order to save the world? Harrison and those who remain will be put to the ultimate test that will either unite them together or sever them permanently. Dive into the highly anticipated sequel to Dino Hunters Part 1 and follow the Hunters through the next phase of their perilous, life-threatening journey in Dino Hunters Part 2, Armageddon. Tell me your name.
I'm Lauren.
Lauren?
Who did you base your characters off?
Good question. So the characters I based off, I have 8 main characters. The main character, Harrison Lumina, is based off of me. And then there's 4 guys and 4 girls. I think half the group, many of the characters were based on my group of friends that I had here at Pueblo, and when they heard that I had actually turned this book into a real thing, they were totally excited. So the only characters that isn't based on anyone that I know is Christina, and she is probably my favorite character to not only draw, but also to use in the story because she's really mysterious and you don't quite know what she's going to do next. Tell me your name.
Peyton.
Peyton.
How long is each book?
How long is each book? This one is 169 pages, and part 2 is 233.
So you don't actually have an editor, it's just it's up to you to do that, or have someone else to edit that for you?
Well, the second book, I had more of my friend edit it. We edited it kind of at the same time. I'd give him something to do, and then I'd do something, and then we'd compare how much we found to each other. The first one, my big mistake was finishing it as quick as I could, getting it out as quick as I could, and then realizing, oh, this took 4 years to write, so it's full of mistakes. So the editing process is probably one of the most important when actually getting these published.
So how much did that cost you then, getting them recopied or?
The books, the way CreateSpace works is they don't charge you anything for publishing the books, and you make a certain percent of revenue on the books. I think I make like 30 or 40% for each book, which is like $4. And basically, when you send it in for approval, they don't check like for mistakes or anything. Like they have editors and stuff that you can hire for a lot of money to edit your stuff and make it the best possible. But I decided to not do that and just do it on my own. Lauren?
Are you planning on writing another series after this?
At the moment, I'm not quite sure. I've considered doing some spin-offs. Like part 3, or Deadlock, is actually a spin-off idea that I had with the original series, and I just kind of worked the spin-off into half of the novel. So half of it's the spin-off and half of it is the main story continuing in the present time.
Did you find that you would get writer's block once in a while, like you'd have to step away, or do things flow at different times?
Yeah, actually it's kind of funny. These first 2 books, I finished them at like 3 in the morning. I would get to the second to last chapter, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get all ready. It's going to be great. And I would sit there for hours on end till 3 in the morning, making sure that last chapter was as best as it could be. So whenever I'd get writer's block, I would like go away or listen to music or go watch television, because like right now I'm having writer's block on the 3rd one, because I know what I want to write, but I don't know how to write it. And that's the thing that's hard sometimes with books, is you have the idea, like you can have it totally planned out, but sometimes you just can't write it because of writer's block. Any other questions?
So would you say the age level you're writing for is like 5th through 5th and up?
I would say it's mainly for probably 6th. Like I went to the 5th graders because they let me come, and I'm like, oh guys, this is so cool. It's mainly, because when I wrote this, I had the intention of putting the main characters in high school, but I wasn't in high school, so I didn't know how high school was going to be. So some of the intro stuff in part 1 about high school is kind of ridiculous. And I would say it's probably 6th to 12th, because as they potentially go on, they kind of get a little bit more heavy, a little bit more serious topics. What's your name?
How long did it take you around to like finish all of
to finish all the books? Well, let's see. I started part 1 in summer of 2010. I published it in December of 2014, so that's 4 years and about 6 months, so 4.5 years. And then part 2 was only 4 months after that, so close to about 5 years. And then this new book, it's been half a year already, so about 6 years. Tell me your name. Carson.
What is your best-selling book?
My best-selling book at the moment is part 1 because I've sold more copies. I'm trying to get more copies sold of part 2, and I'm thinking that when part 3 comes out, it'll kind of boost all the sales of all 3. Tell me your name. Audrey.
How many have you sold of them?
I think I've sold probably about 20 of the first one and about 15 of the second one. Any other questions?
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your experience with us. You never know who you reach, who you might inspire. So thank you for that.
No
thank
problem.
you for your work.
See, before you guys go, I have these little slips here that basically detail. If you guys are interested in the books, you can take one. It shows how to go find them. You just go onto Amazon and you type in their names, and they're right there. You can see the reviews. You can see how they're doing. So if you're interested, just come take one. Feel free.
Could you just give them to the teachers and then we can pass them out in the classroom?
How many do you
Then
need?
you won't get mobbed. Well, why don't you just give me, I can make more copies too. Just give me about 10 or 12. And
10.
then if kids want more, I can make some copies too. Okay. Because you've got several coming today. Okay.
Part of my scissor job.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Anything else?
Okay, so if my class would put your chairs back and meet me over in the store, we'll go out this way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Come this way. Thank you so much.
No problem. You guys. What? I do. I know she does. Tell her I said hi.
Okay.